Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Poolshed Games. I'm the Merc,
The Lich Lord?
and this is the first video in
August.
Anarchy Month.
Yes.
August starts with an A. An A is for Anarchy.
Yes. We're pretty much just going to be playing random stuff. But we should try to get a game of Dead Zone in.
Yep.
And would like to get a few more games of Dropzone Commander, which we actually played tonight, and we'll be talking about it tonight. And maybe just some other random stuff.
I'm going to be reviewing a couple of new RPGs that I've got. I don't know how new they are on the market, but they're new to me. One is Dystopia Rising, which, if some of you have heard of it, it is a huge LARP game, especially here on the East Coast. But I have the pen and paper core rulebook and one of the setting books for it. And I also picked up The Mutant Epoch, which is a post-apocalyptic game that also looks pretty cool, so I'll be reviewing those as well.
Yep, and also I'm going to be running a Star Wars campaign here probably around mid-month. There's like a week left. We're still doing a Pathfinder campaign. I'm going to be doing a Star Wars role-playing game campaign, which is, I think I'm using the Core Saga Core rulebook or something like that. It's the old book from Wizards.
It's the last D20 book.
Yep, it's not the new one that's from Fantasy Flight. It's the older one.
I'll probably also talk about towards the end of the month how my the Battle Box League for War Machine ended that I was in. Right now I'm 3-1. I've won 3 games. I've lost 1. So I'm sitting at rank 2 in points. I just finished my second test paint scheme model for them. So the army's going to get painted. So that'll make army number 4.
Yeah, wow.
Painted.
That's impressive.
I have my Aleph, I have my Russians, I have my UCM, and I'll have my Convergence.
Speaking of painted models...
Yeah, we did set a precedent tonight here in the Poolshed.
First time ever.
First time the Lich Lord and I have ever played a game against each other, both with fully painted armies.
Yes. I'm really
pretty
proud
fantastic.
I'm pretty proud. Yeah. I mean, and I played Scourge. If you watch us on a normal basis, I played Scourge, he played UCM. And, painting these things was just a blast. It was Wednesday night. I was sitting around, stayed up real late. I pretty much turned on Battlestar Galactica and just started painting models. It was pretty awesome. But yeah, it's 2 fully painted armies, and it's pretty great.
Now all that I really want to do is I want to get on making some terrain tiles to put down. Because we have a textured table.
Yeah.
And I like the textured table for games like War Machine and 40K, and even Infinity, because it doesn't... But I want, for like Dystopian Wars and Dropzone Commander, the kind of smaller scale, I just want to build terrain tiles where the terrain fits the minis, sort of. So like hills that look in proportion with the models. Yeah,
and I mean, we have a few things, like we have one little hill that kind of has trees on it that kind of fits them both.
That's for Dystopian.
There's more Dystopian Wars, but it probably could fit... Dropzone Commander if you had to, but yeah, I agree. I think we need some... I mean, the terrain they give you in the starter set is nice.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just one of those things where you want to play different scenarios.
The nice thing, though, is if we make the terrain tiles, we can just glue those buildings onto the terrain tiles.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, I'm just going to say, the idea that I've got for making these terrain tiles came from DM Scotty over at the DM's Craft channel. And he uses cardboard, and he cuts them out in the shape he wants, and spray paints them. I'm going to try foam board first, because I have some of it down at the house, and I want to see just how that'll take paint. But either way, I'm going to just try to I want to make like 4 2x2 tiles, because that'll give us a 4x4 playing area, which is the recommended size, at least for Dropzone.
Yeah.
I think. I want to say Dystopian Wars is 4x6.
Yeah, I think so. I think Dystopian Wars is slightly bigger.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think... Dropzone Commander, I want to say, is 10 millimeter.
Yeah.
And I think Dystopian Wars is like 1 to 1/1200th.
No, honestly... But I mean, when you look at like the infantry sizes...
That's why I would go with 10 mil. Because like 15 mil would be... The infantry would be able to be individually...
Right.
And it's not 6 millimeter, I don't think, because the...
I'm not sure.
I don't know. But anyway, that's a random ramble.
Yeah.
We did play 2 games tonight.
Yes.
And both of them were good. The second one was a thing.
was awesome.
I think that happened. Yeah, of course it was awesome. Nothing better than your opponent not being able to roll above a 3.
It does help. It helps just a little. Just a little bit now. But yeah, both the games were really fun. To be fair, the first game, I did technically win the first game, but I pretty much lost every single... I lost pretty much everything but my 2 APCs and my infantry, who got off the board before yours did.
I think, though, that is the elegance of Dropzone Commander, is you can lose victory point-wise, well, kill point-wise, or army kill, total kills.
Right.
You can lose that way, but you can still win via the objective in the scenario, which that's what I like about the game. It's very scenario-driven.
Yep. Which, I mean, that does sometimes favor some of the faster armies. Like, Scourge is extremely fast, so you can get off the board really quick. At the same time, you have the longer range, so you have the better chance to hit me. Compared to Scourge, where, I mean, if you get just a little bit away, I won't be able to shoot you down. Yeah.
Well, and I think something that'll help, too, as we get deeper into Dropzone Commander is expanding the armies a little bit.
Yes.
Getting like an extra unit of AA, some more infantry onto the board, things to help that way.
Which one thing we should mention too is that there were quite a few things we did kind of wrong.
Yeah.
Really wrong the first game. Which, I mean, it was the first game we were playing.
It was your first
so
game.
Have to expect it. But basically, the first game, we didn't realize that you had to land dropships and that units coming out of them could not fire. So that's pretty big. I mean, if you play the game, you know that's a pretty huge thing to mess up.
Yeah.
Where the rules now, we know, you can move half your distance as a dropship. You have to land, which regardless, you have to move, or you can move your half. So I mean, you can drop off, then move your half to get out of the way, or you can move half or move half your half or whatever But regardless, you can't shoot with the exiting unit. With the disembarking unit that turn. Which makes sense, because last time, I mean, we kind of just, landed stuff, and it was like, I'm going to shoot. Yeah, it was like, this game went really quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was good, and we did some stuff wrong with the infantry, which we didn't get into any infantry combat this time.
Yeah.
But we know how that goes now. And I think there was, I think that's about it.
A couple of the other things was...
reactionary fire. Which the first game we just didn't do.
Yeah.
And we figured that out. Yeah. But
remember to do the skimmers for the Scourge tanks.
Yep, which skimmers get +2 to hit.
Yeah, you need 2 better to hit them. Yep. And I read the section where, yes, an AA gun can shoot at a ground target. Yep. Which, it makes sense. It was kind of silly, but we didn't know, so we just assumed that it wouldn't.
Which, I mean, these things happen. It was the first game, but... What's important is that we actually remedied these, and we read the rule book more thoroughly, and we're like, we messed up a few times, and we started playing good.
Also, I know that we talked about putting up a picture battle report last week.
Yeah.
We opted not to do that because at that time the Scourge weren't fully painted.
Yes.
However, tonight, with both armies painted, we took pictures of basically every turn, interesting things that happened in the turns.
Yep.
And we will be putting those pictures up on our Facebook, our Google+, and I'll probably be stringing them together into a slideshow-type battle report video on our channel.
Should be good.
So that should it'll give you an insight into at least kind of how the game works.
Yeah. It'd be nice to put dialogue over top of it. I'm not sure how to do that yet.
I don't have a microphone to do that, so yeah. But I like the game is really elegant. It's really elegant and simple. Yes. And I like that. It's not simple in a bad way. It's not simple like, I can just derp a derp. Right. It's simple that, you can pick up the rules, and then you can spend time mastering, your strategy.
Yes.
How do I want to move my dropships? How do I want to deploy my AA? How do I want to deploy my tanks? So that's what I like about the game.
Yeah, I agree. And there's a lot of stuff, and as we talked before, if you're doing terrible through the game, you still have the ability to win if you get the objective. It's unlike some other games we play where it's sometimes it's just make this stop.
There are times playing War Machine where you're just
I love War Machine, but there are just times when it's I've lost. Yeah. There's nothing I can do to possibly pull this out of my ass.
Now, granted, I will say tonight, the second game we had, my dice rolls were just so terrible that I think it was turn 3. I knew.
Yeah.
I knew there was no coming back.
A good example.
I tried to kill 2 of his APCs with my main battle tank squadron and 2 dropships.
Yeah.
And I didn't kill a single one.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
I think that was the point where it's like, and after that I searched and found the objective.
And then you went first.
Yeah, and I went first, which I think I rolled like a 4 or 5, and you rolled like a 2.
Yeah. But you got your dropship 12 inches closer to the board edge, and my AA was out of range.
I mean, other than that turn, before that turn, the game was really interesting. It was shaping up to be a really great game.
Yeah.
But then that happened. It was kind of like, well, I'm gonna get off the board this turn because you couldn't kill my APCs. But it was a lot of rolls.
I guess technically I could have tried to search for the objective and desperately prayed my APCs made it off the board by turn 6. But I had 1 main battle tank left, and you had 3.
Yep. I think you still had all your AA, but still, there's only so much AA can do.
Yeah, I had all my AA, and I had 1 dropship left.
Yeah.
So that was a thing. Yeah, that was game 2.
It was really fun for me, but kidding. It was great. You should have seen it.
But that's kind of the nature of this beast when you're playing war games, because you're using dice and you're hoping for random luck to at least favor you slightly.
I mean, and we were talking after the game. It's like, no matter how many times. I mean, it's a dice game, so you have to expect for that to happen because you're relying on dice to do well for you. Mm-hmm. But that never. I mean, you're never
makes you
ready.
Happy when it happens,
right? And you're never ready for that. Where it's like you can't roll over a 2. It's like, come on, just one.
The nice thing is, this game is just the best break from the competitive environment that I am in currently with War Machine.
I can only imagine.
Because War Machine, even though it's just Battle Box, man, you're like measuring everything. Mm-hmm. You're like moving precisely, and some people really enjoy that. Some people really enjoy the competitive, measure everything right down to the exact. And that's the way you're supposed to play the games. But in a friendly game, sometimes if you if you accidentally, you got big clumsy hands and you bump a model, it's not the end of the world.
Right. Which happens a lot to me.
Yeah. I have that problem too, especially in this game where you're playing with big cityscapes.
Yeah, and you gotta
you got big man paws. I mean, look
at these things.
Look at big man paws. You got big giant.
You gotta reach over buildings and try to move a tiny tank. It's like
you're
gonna move some stuff.
And that's part of the reason why I'd like to make those terrain tiles, because then the terrain would be pretty stationary, pretty stable. Yeah. But aside from that, anything you're looking forward to having come out this month?
Oh, stuff coming out? I don't know. Well, one thing that's pretty cool is that on Miniature Market right now, they are giving 40% off on all the War Machine and Horde stuff.
But I will say, amazing. I checked last night, and at least I know for Convergence, most all the good stuff is sold out already.
Yeah. And one caster I'm really looking forward to getting for my Circle Orboros is, I think it's Bradius. He's another... He's a construct caster, I think. Well, I haven't seen the rules. I don't think the rules are out yet, actually. But he's a construct caster, so he's good with constructs, and I like using constructs. And, I mean, I have Boulder, which I like Boulder. I like playing with Boulder, but it'd be nice to just have something a little bit different when I want to play constructs. So,
see, I think personally, for me, the 2 things coming out this month that I am kind of chomping at the bit, and also disappointed because this is the month I had to pay tuition and go back to school. Operation Ice Storm, which is the new Infinity starter set. It brings you the 3rd edition rules, terrain, dice, a Pano, and a Nomad starter. Which I play Nomads. I have Aleph. Depending on what the Pano starter is like, I might just keep it and see what playing Pano is like. And the other thing I am super excited about is the release of the Resistance and the new expansion for Dropzone Commander. Yeah. I've been paying attention to the Resistance since Hawk War Games released the sneak peeks of them back in last year. Yeah. And now that they're coming out, they just look awesome. And I like the UCM, but as long as the rules aren't total crap for the Resistance, they're probably going to be my main faction.
Yeah, I've been thinking about I love the Scourge, but I think I might get the Shaltari starter set also, just because I really like the way their stuff looks. But,
aside from that, the only thing on the radar, Manic has a new Kickstarter.
Yes, Dungeon Master,
Dungeon Explorer, or something like that.
Yeah,
which I guess is a dungeon crawl board game.
Yeah,
looks like it might be kind of cool. And I don't know if it's dropped dropped yet, or it's going to drop, but they're coming out with an expansion for Dead Zone.
Yes, they are.
Which is going to put the Forge Fathers and one other race into it and give some new stuff for the other armies.
Mm-hmm. Probably the Vermine, because I don't think Vermine are in that. They would put them in.
I don't know if they are or not. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But that's kind of the things that we're looking towards on the horizon. Probably next week we're going to do a beer and development, because God knows we haven't done one of those in forever. Just talk about general how the channel's going, what we're hoping to do. And I think that's going to be it for this video.
Yeah.
Like I said, this month is going to be lawn focused.
Yeah, we're just going to play games.
We're going to be all over the place because we're going back to college, and it is a thing.
Yeah, which I mean, even with that, the schedules altogether might be changing up a little bit. It's hard to tell though. We'll probably still at least get together once a week.
Yeah.
It's just we probably won't be able to on Wednesday nights anymore.
Yeah.
To roleplay.
Yeah, that'll probably move to every other Friday.
Yeah.
Other than that, next weekend, next Friday, I think we're going to do a game of Dystopian Wars. If all the players can make it. And that's going to be it. Anything else you want to...
Nope. Just like, favorite, subscribe.
Share us with your friends.
Share this.
And we'll see you next time here at Bullshit Games.